Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to another episode of News Dose where I give you all of the latest news in the game industry. And today we have something very intriguing to talk about because yes, there is a rumor as of this very moment that Sony's first-party game by Guerrilla Games, Horizon Zero Dawn, will be coming to PC. And I do want to emphasize the rumor part of this, but we will discuss whether this is plausible or not. And also we have some other things to talk about as well, including Platinum Games releasing a couple games on the Xbox One, Nintendo Switch had a massive Black Friday, and I mean massive, and the developer behind Firewatch, Campo, Santo's next game, so stay tuned for that. But yes, let's talk about this rumor for Horizon Zero Dawn. And I know this is a touchy subject for some fans. Some fans want to keep every game exclusive to a single platform, while others will debate on why bringing games to the PC is actually beneficial. So I do want to emphasize the rumor part here, and to be respectful of one another. This isn't like the video that I made earlier this year where I was super confident that Death Stranding was coming to PC, but I do think there may be a case that this is plausible, which is why I will at least talk about it. I'm not saying it will happen, but this may actually be plausible based off what we do know. With that said, this rumor originates from a Russian YouTuber by the name of Anton Loganov, which is actually the same guy who broke news that Death Stranding was coming to the PC. So this guy does have some credibility to his name, which is why a lot of people are taking this rumor very serious. Now, I've also been hearing that he's gotten several things wrong in the past too, so is he the most credible person ever? Probably not. But in the video he made, he flat out said that Horizon Zero Dawn will be announced for PC in February, though because he wasn't speaking English, I'm sure if he means it will be released in February of 2020 or it will be announced in February. And he actually didn't stop there either, and I haven't heard people reporting on this, but in the same video he went on to say that he had been communicating with developers who are working on PlayStation 5, and said that Sony has been hinting at a PC version for all of their games. I'm not really too sure about that, and that would be a drastic shift in how PlayStation releases their games. But I will say this, if he is right about this, he will be viewed as a legit insider because I can't find anybody else talking about this online. However, if he's wrong, well, that's an entirely different story. I don't think anybody will ever take him serious again if he is actually wrong here. So, what is my opinion on this? Do I think it will happen? I'm honestly not sure. Do I think it's impossible? No, I don't think it's impossible, and I'll tell you why. Here is what we know. Over the last year, Sony has been releasing more of their games on PC than ever before. Death Stranding, Journey, Detroit Become Human, and Beyond Two Souls are owned by PlayStation, and they came to PC. Though those are developed by third-party developers, which is why hearing about Horizon Zero Dawn on PC is so surprising, because to this point they have yet to release a game on PC from one of their first-party studios. Though technically, Guerrilla Games did have several employees helping with Death Stranding, and of course Death Stranding is using the Decima engine, the same engine that Horizon Zero Dawn is also using. So Guerrilla Games does have experience developing for the PC, so could they do a port of Horizon Zero Dawn? Theoretically, yeah, they could possibly do that. Though I think the biggest factor right now is when Jim Ryan took over at PlayStation this year, and he has been kind of adamant that PlayStation should not be stagnant. He has kind of hinted at PlayStation games being available on PC as well. And even the former PlayStation boss, Sean Layden himself, back in August talked about PlayStation, which would lean into a wider installed base. That isn't conjecture, that is a fact. Though to this point, I think we just kind of thought it was going to be with third-party studios because that seems to be what he implied. But keep in mind here, Sean Layden is no longer with PlayStation. Okay, and now the last one is that PlayStation is releasing their games on PC through PlayStation Now. The thing is, they are doing it in a very limited quantity and time, only being on the service for a few months, and also Jim Ryan did go on the record saying that they do this because they want to treat their first-party games with amazing care and respect, which was kind of hinting that they aren't going to bring them to PlayStation Now day one, similar to something like Xbox Game Pass. That has nothing to do with PC releases, where fans will buy a game at full price though. So I do think at the very least PlayStation is open to the idea of PC releases, or at least more than what they used to be. Will this happen though? I really don't know. But what do you think? Do you think PlayStation games from first-party studios will release on PC? Or no? Let me know in the comments below. Now in other news, Phil Spencer just kind of announced Remedy's Control is coming to Xbox Game Pass. This was done on a Mixer stream with Extra Life, and he just nonchalantly said Control was going to Xbox Game Pass. I don't know if he said it by accident or what, but Remedy later posted an update that this information was incorrect and they have nothing to announce. The Xbox Game Pass Twitter feed also said the same thing, so I'm not really sure what happened here. It could be that Phil may have accidentally let it slip that it's coming soon, and it may show up earlier next year, or maybe Phil Spencer just made a simple mistake. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, I do think that this game is worth a buy, so don't hold off on it just for an Xbox Game Pass release that you don't even know whether or not it will actually happen. Also, Xbox fans, you do have something Remedy related to look forward to next year, as the Xbox exclusive Crossfire X single-player campaign is being developed by Remedy, so there is that. There was another Xbox announcement as well, and that is that 2 different Platinum Games remasters will be coming to Xbox One on February 18th of 2020, which is Bayonetta and Vanquish, and they will be 4K 60 frames per second. These are both really good games, so I'm happy to see them make a return. There is no news currently if they will be multi-platform, but I do think that they will be. This will likely, at the very least, be on the PlayStation 4 as well, and maybe even the Nintendo Switch. And speaking of remasters on the Switch, we got an interesting outcome with Alien Isolation on the Nintendo Switch. Apparently, Digital Foundry got a hold of Alien Isolation, and as they were testing its visual quality, they determined it actually looks better than the PlayStation 4 version, thanks to things such as newer anti-aliasing techniques. Now, that is actually very impressive and something you don't hear very often. I think a lot of people always kind of worry about the bigger AAA games coming to the Nintendo Switch, where they think it's not going to run very well. But the little hybrid console has really been holding its own and proving it is more than capable of holding its own ground. Nintendo also put out a press release because they had a massive week in selling the Nintendo Switch. And in fact, it was the best ever week for the Nintendo Switch, selling 830,000 Switches in just the United States alone from November 24th to the 30th. Also remember, it sold at least 100,000 in the UK as well, so just wow. They really did have a massive Black Friday. And yeah, remember I was talking about earlier this week that it may pass the Nintendo Wii in total units sold? Well, things like this truly does make me believe it will. The Nintendo Switch is such a good console, and it deserves all the praise it gets. The Switch, of course, has had a good year too, releasing Astral Chain, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Pokemon Sword and Shield within just the last few months. Pair that alongside the Switch Lite, so there is no doubt that this success will continue for the rest of the holiday. In other news, the developer behind Firewatch, Campo Santo, has put their next game, In the Valley of Gods, on hold. It's not cancelled, but it was originally supposed to be released in 2019. But we haven't really heard about it in a long time, which of course is very concerning. The thing is, if you remember, they were acquired by Valve not too long ago, and according to Campo Santo, they have in fact put the game on hold because they're helping Valve with multiple other projects such as Half-Life Alyx. Apparently that isn't the only thing they're helping out with though, as they're also working on Steam itself and even Dota Underlords. It was kind of conveyed that Campo Santo employees chose what they wanted to work on themselves rather than being forced to work on other projects, and I do hope that's true. Nonetheless, if you were excited for Campo Santo's next game, then you're probably going to be waiting for a while longer. Half-Life Alyx does release in March, so it could free up enough people to work on In the Valley of Gods then, but we'll have to wait and see. Now the last thing I want to talk about real quick is a release date for Pillars of Eternity 2 on the Xbox and PlayStation 4, which will be January 28th of 2020. Pillars of Eternity, of course, is considered one of the best isometric RPG franchises ever made, and it also comes with all the previous DLC made and a collector's edition for $130. The collector's edition is pretty cool as well, with a statue included. It's a great franchise and definitely worth it if you like these type of games. Anyways though, that is it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget to hit that bell notification and subscribe button. Peace out.